How did I start playing the bass? Well, my friend at the time played the bass, and you know, it was in middle school, and you know, so you're like, well, that seems cool, and I was like, well, I should play the bass, and so I joined my middle school band. Very exciting, I know. They gave me a bass. I started playing it. I started on the bass guitar. It's like a lower pitched guitar, but I moved to the upright bass, which is like the big violin. That's what everybody calls it. When I have a gig and I see little kids, they're like, hey, it's a big violin. I mostly play like jazz around town, just like receptions and stuff. I played a wedding 2 weeks ago. That's usually like there's not really any bands. It's usually just like a gig by gig thing, because it's all just drawn from like one songbook. So just like classic Broadway show tunes. Kind of put it together, just text people and say like, hey, do you want to play this? X date. You just all get together and play it. I think a lot of the creativity I get to do most of the time is through writing, just because I have a lot of writing classes, so it's nice to have like a non-verbal way to be creative. I'm living with a saxophonist, so we just play sometimes when we feel like it. Well, I was actually in Jacobs last year. I think it was a classic case of turning your hobby into your work. I quickly realized that it's not nearly as fun to play the bass when you're playing it like 8 hours every day. It was just sort of depressing, so I switched out of that. And it becomes very competitive. It really sucks a lot of the creativity out of it when you're in that environment. I think it's very good for some people, but it wasn't particularly good for me. You can tell when the people don't want to be there. You know, you can tell when you're sort of just hired to be background music, and I'm fine with that. I think it's pretty funny, actually. But it is a lot more fulfilling, certainly. Like when I played the wedding, you know, you're genuinely improving somebody's happy day experience. It's fun. It's a nice creative outlet. Like a lot of my friends just are musicians, just because like that's the environment I'm in a lot. Like I mean, as I said, like one of my roommates is a saxophonist. So a lot of the time I'm just like in those situations, I'm with those people. I think that keeps me a part of it. And I like being a part of it. Yeah, I could see just keeping it going.